Gatwick cuts summer breakouts after staff dearths. Gatwick Airport is reducing the number of breakouts during the peak summer period because of staff dearths. The number of diurnal breakouts will be cut to 825 in July and 850 in August, down from 900 in former times. It comes after the government and controllers wrote to airlines telling them to ensure their summer calendars were deliverable. Knockouts of thousands of passengers have been hit by cancellations and detainments at UK airfields in recent weeks. Gatwick said it had taken the decision following a review of its operations, to help passengers witness a further dependable and more standard of service. The field said it had signed 400 new staff to help passengers through security checks this summer, and further new rookies would start soon. But the field's review set up numerous companies that the field still had a severe lack of staff, and if the issue wasn't addressed, passengers could witness ranges, detainments, and cancellations. Why are so numerous breakouts being cancelled? Stuart Wingate, the field's principal superintendent, said that during the week of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, a number of companies operating at the field plotted because of staff dearths. By taking decisive action now, we aim to help the ground instructors and also our airlines to more match their flying programs with their available coffers, he said. It's not clear when or indeed if airlines will cancel their breakouts, following Gatwick's advertisement. Mr. Wingate said, the vast majority of breakouts over the summer will operate as normal. EasyJet said it was apprehensive of the capacity cap blazoned by Gatwick Airport and was reviewing the details. We anticipate to be suitable to accommodate the majority of guests should their flight be affected by the cap, it said. We honor the need for Gatwick Airport to do this, so each airline can give dependable services for their guests. Ryanair said it did not have any plans to cancel breakouts from Gatwick, adding Gatwick should be looking to the airlines who are formerly making mass cancellations across the UK for these cuts. Meanwhile, Rory Bulland from the Consumer Group said that, while it may have been sensible to reduce breakouts now, it clearly was not sensible to make this advertisement without first agreeing with airlines which breakouts would be cancelled. Trip expert Simon Calder told the BBC the whole assiduity is stretched, especially ground instructors and the airlines. This is each about avoiding the scenes of chaos at airfields and actually making sure that, say, 95% of people are travelling, he said. Of course, that is illegal on the 5 who aren't, he added. Other airfields including Luton, Liverpool, Birmingham, and the group that runs Manchester, Stansted, and East Midlands told the BBC they had no plans to reduce their number of breakouts. Heathrow has formerly worked with airlines to limit passenger figures at the busiest times of day, with some breakouts tallied or cancelled. British Airways has cancelled 10 of its summer schedule. Can you get compensation if your flight is cancelled? Still, you have the right to either a full refund or a relief flight, if your flight is cancelled. And that different flight doesn't need to be with the same carrier, it can be a volition, as long as it flies on the same day, says Julia Lobu, CEO of Advantage Travel Partnership. Still, it'll reimburse you, if you and the airline cannot agree on a new flight. Still, you may also be entitled to compensation, but only if the airline is at fault, if the flight was cancelled with 14 days or lower notice. Still, you are entitled to compensation, but if it's the field, if it's a direct result of the airline. It's not clear when airlines will advertise any cancellations caused by Gatwick's decision, but Mrs. Lobu says the advance notice should reduce the dislocation. What are my rights if my flight is cancelled? Further, 150 breakouts across the UK were cancelled during the week of the Platinum Jubilee, as people tried to take advantage of the 4-day weekend. Airlines also suffered severe dislocation during the half-term academy vacation and during Easter, egging justifications from companies including British Airways, TUI, and EasyJet. The aeronautics assiduity made thousands of workers spare during the epidemic, and numerous have yet to be replaced, despite a shaft in demand for trips. Following a surge of cancellations and detainments at airfields, the Department of Transport and the Civil Aviation Authority wrote to airlines telling them to review their schedules and to cancel breakouts that couldn't be delivered at the foremost possibility. Downing Street 8 Gatwick's advertisement on Friday, with a spokesperson saying the move would give certainty for passengers ahead of time. What checks do field staff need? Security checks mean it can take longer for airfields to retain staff, compared to other diligence. At an administrative commission this week, Richard Moriarty, Principal Superintendent of the Civil Aviation Authority, said there were 2 checks blown by the CAA and government mates, and 1 by the employers. Mr. Moriarty said the reversal times for the first set of checks were as good, if not better than they were pandemic. But he said there were blockages in the checks done by employers, which include 5 times worth of employment history. Aviation Minister Robert Courts said changes by the government would make the process easier for employers, although maybe more in the medium term. But it's a good illustration of hearkening to the sector, and acting and delivering on the effects they have asked for, he said. Behind the scenes at the Queen's Platinum Jubilee with London Mayor Sadiq Khan, special surprises included. To celebrate Queen Elizabeth II's 70-year reign, London is throwing a 4-day celebration like no other. Every royal event is marked with grandeur, but to honor Queen Elizabeth II's 70th anniversary on the throne, the bar is being raised to an unprecedented level with a 4-day celebration dubbed the Queen's Platinum Jubilee Central Weekend. The event, which will take place from June 2 through 6, will host celebrities, members of the royal family, and the Queen herself. The Queen's Platinum Jubilee is a never-before-seen event, London Mayor Sadiq Khan told Travel Plus Leisure. Her Majesty the Queen has lived a life of extraordinary service, devoting her time to representing her country and carrying out her duties with amazing grace and humility. Lots of business and supporters have come together to work on the plans for the Platinum Jubilee, and I am proud that London will be at the very heart of the event. While the actual anniversary was back in February, since she succeeded the throne on February 6, 1952, when her father King George VI passed away, this month was chosen as it's an ideal time of year to visit London, said Khan. The weather has warmed up and there are plenty of sunny days to enjoy exploring the city. The Regal Festivals kick off on Thursday, June 2, with the annual Trooping the Colour, which includes a lavish parade and the iconic annual appearance of the royal family on the Buckingham Palace balcony. Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and Prince Andrew will not be in attendance, and military fly past. We have seen scaled-down versions for the past 2 years with no public audience, but we are doing it bigger and better this year with more than 1,400 soldiers, 400 musicians, and 200 horses, said Khan. The atmosphere is set to be incredible, and I can't wait to see this fantastic tradition return in full. Also on deck for the weekend is the lighting of more than 1,500 Platinum Jubilee beacons, flames once used for communication that are now part of a celebratory tradition, throughout the UK on Thursday. A service of Thanksgiving will be held on Friday at St Paul's Cathedral, while Saturday will feature the Derby at Epsom Downs with the Queen in attendance. Sunday will mark the big Jubilee lunch, 60,000 celebratory meals hosted by individuals, from street parties to backyard barbecues, and Platinum Jubilee pageant, led by the Gold State Coach. While the Queen herself won't be inside, a fabulous surprise has been promised. But the highlight of the weekend will be Saturday night's Platinum Party at the Palace, a festival-like celebration with 3 stages. The event, which will air on the BBC, has the kind of lineup only the Queen herself could draw. Among the performers are Queen plus Adam Lambert, Alicia Keys, Craig David, Duran Duran, Andrea Bocelli, and Hans Zimmer, as well as scheduled appearances from David Beckham, Julie Andrews, Sir David Attenborough, Stephen Fry, and Emma Raducanu, plus the reveal of a top-secret collaboration between Andrew Lloyd Webber and Lin-Manuel Miranda. The 2.5-hour show will be topped off with a performance from Diana Ross in her first Live UK performance in 15 years. The finer details of the Platinum Party at the Palace are a closely guarded secret, said Khan. But I can tell you that we are set to see some performances to remember. Exterior facade of Buckingham Palace during sunset for the Brits. The weekend is such a big deal that it marks an official 4-day weekend. After all, the Queen's influence has been intertwined in their culture for 7 decades. One of my first memories as a child was standing outside the estate where I grew up in Tooting, watching the Queen's Silver Jubilee procession go past in 1977, said Khan. It was an incredible event with more than 10 million people taking part in street parties as part of the celebrations. The occasion is a major part of his own family's history. We have family photos of us eagerly waiting by the side of the road with our paper crowns on, wearing flares and waving our Union Jack flags. It was a great look, he said. We were so excited to get a glimpse of the Queen and so proud to be British. Like millions of others around the country, our sense of patriotism was inherited from our parents. Even though they were not born here, they were so proud to be accepted by this country, to be Londoners, to raise their family here, and to have Her Majesty as their Queen. He hopes this weekend will inspire those kind of memories. The Platinum Jubilee is truly a once-in-a-lifetime occasion, and Her Majesty is the first monarch to reach this milestone, he said, adding that the atmosphere and energy will be unlike anything else. The fact that this comes on the heels of COVID-19 restrictions lifting means that there's a great deal of pent-up excitement, and London is ready to make this event one for the history books. A red bus driving over Tower Bridge. Credit, visit london.com/benpipe/ courtesy of London and Partners. For those who can't make it to London during the 4-day weekend, he hopes they'll still consider coming during this special Jubilee year, noting his Let's Do London campaign to bring visitors back to the capital city. Other 2022 highlights, he said, include the Super Bloom at the Tower of London, the 50th anniversary of Pride in London, Notting Hill Carnival, the UEFA Women's Euro Championship at Wembley, tennis at Wimbledon, Adele, Elton John, and the Rolling Stones performing in Hyde Park, an ABBA Voyage opening at a custom-built theatre in the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park. Royal fans will also love special exhibitions like Life Through a Royal Lens at Kensington Palace to soak up some of the most iconic images ever taken of the royal family, said Khan. But wherever in the world you are during the Platinum Jubilee weekend, he said it's about channeling the royal spirit. If you can't make it to London during the Jubilee weekend, I'd recommend hosting your own street party at home and planning your vacation to London. Prince William and Kate Middleton are leaving London, here's where they're moving next. Luckily, it's still an easy commute to Kensington Palace. Prince William, Kate Middleton, and their 3 children are on the move. In June, the Sunday Times reported that the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are heading to the burbs. More specifically, the couple and their children are permanently moving to Windsor in Berkshire County. The reality is they are quite confined in what they can do in London, a friend of the couple shared with the Times. The kids can't go into the park and kick a football with friends. Their plan is to be there for the next 10 to 15 years, and then move to Anmere, which is so special to them. According to several sources, though yet to be confirmed by royal officials, the family is moving to the modest 4-bedroom home known as Adelaide Cottage, located on the larger family's 655-acre royal estate. The home, Elle reported, is a stone's throw from St. George's Chapel in Windsor Castle. Kate and William were very keen for a modest home to start their new lives in Windsor, a source shared with The Sun. Adelaide Cottage fits the bill because it's a 4-bedroom home and they don't need any more, as they have no live-in staff. They had no other demands than a pleasant family home close to schools and the Queen. The source added, they were adamant they didn't want anything too showy or anything that needed renovating or extra security, so as not to be a burden on the taxpayer. As for the children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte will likely leave their current prep school, Thomas's Battersea, and will instead be enrolled in one closer to the home. Prince Louis is also slated to follow suit. But don't worry, the couple is still expected to maintain a residence in London. According to reports, they will keep their apartment 1A spot in Kensington Palace for the foreseeable future. Gas prices reach an all-time high in the US. Here's how you can still save money. Planning a summer road trip? You'll want to read this. The average price of gas in the United States rose to more than $5 per gallon over the weekend, an all-time high, and even topped more than $6 in California. As of Monday, the average price of a gallon of gas was $5.014 nationally, according to AAA. The high cost was widespread, with 21 states and Washington, D.C., all seeing more than $5 per gallon at the pump. The prices were an uptick from last week, when gas averaged $4.865 per gallon, and a significant increase from a year ago, when the average price of a gallon was $3.078. The price represents an all-time high since AAA started collecting pricing data in 2000, according to the company. Based on the demand we're seeing, it seems high prices have not really deterred drivers, Andrew Gross, a AAA spokesperson, said in a statement. If prices stay at or above $5, we may see people start to change their daily driving habits or lifestyle, but it hasn't happened yet. A customer is seen in a reflection looking at the rising cost while pumping gas,